The life of Mythal. This is how I think Mythal's life went, from Arlathan to now. During the Arlathan Empire, Mythal had the status of a queen or goddess. She had her own temple with people who came to worship her and ask for her favor. But there was also a lot of drama going on. Falon'Din, assumed to be Mythal's son, started wars to gain more worshippers and followers. Finally, Mythal got sick of his shit and rallied the other gods to subdue him.
It is said Falon'Din's appetite for adulation was so great, he began wars to amass more worshippers. The blood of those who wouldn't bow low filled lakes as wide as oceans. Mythal rallied the gods once the shadow of Falon'Din's hunger stretched across her own people. It was almost too late. Falon'Din only surrendered when his brethren bloodied him in his own temple.
Then we had Andruil being super crazy and hunting both elves and animals for fun. She started making armor out of red lyrium and tried to hunt the Forgotten Ones in the void. The other gods thought that she would eventually start hunting them too because she was acting so crazy. So Mythal took care of that by turning into a giant snake and stealing all her crazy memories. But then Mythal was betrayed, as the whole world was betrayed, and murdered.
She was betrayed as I was betrayed, as the world was betrayed.
My best guess is someone within the pantheon, Andruil, Falon'Din, or Falon'Din's brother/best friend, Dirthaman. There are also murals all over the Temple of Mythal showing wars and also what looks like red lyrium poisoning. Additionally, pictures of griffins and dragons that seem to be infected with red lyrium as well. So we can confidently assume that she has experience with red lyrium and the blight, since red lyrium is blighted lyrium according to Varric's girlfriend Bianca. Enter Fen'Harel, who was totally best friends with Mythal, my evidence being that she calls him old friend, in addition to their statues facing each other at the Alluvion at the end of the game. He was like, "You just killed my bestie, what the fuck? Everyone is totally out of control with their slavery and wars and elf hunting, so I'm tricking you all to get in the Alluvion and I'm stealing the keys. Now I'm going to take a nap for 1,000 years because I'm super depressed. I'm pretty sure the common elves can handle suddenly having no leadership or government. Whatever, the slaves are free." Then the Tevinter humans came and took over Thedas, conquering the recovering elven empire and enslaving everyone. Sometime between when the Tevinters took over and when Dumat, the old dragon god, was turned into an archdemon and killed, Mythal's wisp of a spirit found a suitable human woman who cried out for justice.
Mythal clawed and crawled her way through the ages to me, and I will see her avenged!
This was the first of the human women who had Mythal's spirit, and was the first ancestor of Flemeth and Morrigan. Now came a time when Thedas was havocked by the first archdemon, who was formerly Dumat. No one knew how to permanently kill the archdemon. The only person in all of Thedas who had previous knowledge of dragons infected by the blight, or with any form of blight infection, was Mythal. I think she came to the Grey Wardens and told them of the dark ritual. Something only she could figure out, since she was the only one with experience with the blight and had the magical know-how. Her realm of magic is motherhood, and she alone had the vast knowledge of the ancient Elven. After all, she was the one who created the dark ritual, according to Morrigan. I think you cannot actually destroy a dragon soul. It can either go into a designated slightly blighted fetus, or it will keep going around until it finds a fetus that is partially blighted. That's why I think when the dark ritual isn't actually technically completed and only a Grey Warden kills the dragon, the soul goes on, but it's not destroyed, it just doesn't go on to another darkspawn. The Grey Wardens are very secretive, so most of them don't actually know all the details on all the different things other wings are doing. They wouldn't want the public to know that there's a baby running around with the soul of the giant monster that ruined their lives. So it's understandable that sometimes this detail is left out and the soul is left to be thrown around to somewhere else. This might also explain why Morrigan accidentally found Flemeth's grimoire explaining how to do the dark ritual, because Mythal was trying to help. The Grey Warden in Dragon Age Origins had no way of knowing this top secret information because all the other wardens had been killed. Now let's go back to the first Grey Wardens and killing the first archdemon. The Grey Wardens, being desperate for an answer, agreed to do it. So the vessel of Mythal at the time became pregnant from a Grey Warden, and they killed the archdemon Dumat. She made sure to be close to the killing so the soul would go into the fetus inside of her. That baby turned out to be a girl, duh, and she grew up having bad dreams, much like how Kieran had bad dreams, because she had the soul of a dragon god inside of her. So who from history was born around the same time Dumat was killed, was well known for growing up having bad dreams, was a woman, had a reputation for large amounts of magical stuff happening to her, and only had biological daughters to carry her line? Andraste. Dumont was killed in -203 Ancient. Andraste was born, debatedly so, in -203 Ancient. She grew up having bad dreams like Kieran. When she became an adult, she married a warlord, but she was thought barren. She had 3 adopted sons that were birthed by her husband's concubine. But then Mythal revealed all her truths, and Andraste let Mythal pass into her. This is when Andraste was finally able to birth her own children, both daughters. Also, Mythal gave Andraste her sweet diadem. But wait, Mari, I thought you said Solus was in the mix by being Shartan. Oh no, he's still there. He's still Shartan. Mythal went and woke up Fenharil and was like, "Wake up, bestie, I'm alive and I need your help." And Fenharil was like, "I thought you were dead." And then Mythal says,
I got better.
But whatever, these things called humans have come in and enslaved our people, and also their own people. I have a plan to free them all. You want in on this? And Solus is like, "Fuck yeah, I want to help free slaves. That's what I'm all about. It's totally my thing." And then he goes off and assumes the identity of Shartan, and joins the elves and human forces to take down the Tevinter Empire. Now comes the time when Andraste was burned and killed. At this point, Andraste no longer had the soul of Mythal, and had already passed it on to her daughter, Vivial. Vivial went into hiding after Andraste was killed. Mythal knew Andraste had to be a martyr to solidify a victory over Tevinter. Solus, being disgusted by human justice and happy that the slaves seemed to be free again, went back to sleep with his orb. So Mythal goes on making daughters and possessing them, pushing history along when needed.
Flemeth appears in other legends, helping heroes for reasons of her own.
She goes on to help the Grey Warden in Dragon Age Origins and aid the Champion of Kirkwall in Dragon Age 2. This leaves us with the events in Dragon Age Inquisition. No matter what you choose, you end up with a semi-resolved relationship between Morrigan and Flemeth.
A soul is not forced upon the unwilling, Morrigan. You were never in danger from me.
And her plans are unknown to me. She was testing me, and I cannot tell whether I pass.
Mythal wants to move on to Morrigan because she knows that Solus is coming to take her power. Mythal has been doing many small and big pushes through history for over 1,000 years now.
I nudge history when it's required. Other times, a shove is needed.
These are not random acts of kindness. She has a plan. A reckoning.
Why did Mythal come to you?
For a reckoning that will shake the very heavens.
Oh dear.
According to the developer notes left in the game files, she knows that Solus is going to carry out her reckoning. She always knew this would happen because she's been planning this for a very long time. I'm not sure what it is, but I know that when her reckoning comes, it's going to melt my face.
Armies will be shattered. Worlds will burn. Now at last, on this world, vengeance shall be mine.